Well, in maximum emergency compensatory action, you defeat the purpose if it's not a racist that you're inflicting the counter violence on. Then what's the point? If anything is harmed, anyone is harmed who is not a racist, that's not counter racism. Counter racism is you have counter harm against someone who is inflicting harm. If you suspect a person, you just can't look at a person and tell naturally, whether or not that person is harmful, but you can come to certain conclusions about your suspicions, but you have to back up your own suspicions by your own studies and follow up your suspicions and make sure that if you're going to, what they call, take someone out of this universe, meaning killing that person, that's a very serious act. You should take that seriously, if I understand what the question is.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot make any mistakes. You cannot make not one mistake. Mistakes are called, that's why they are called mistakes. You did something that shouldn't have been done. So that undoes everything. If you make a mistake and you do harm to any person who is not a person who is dedicated to doing harm to people unjustly, dedicated to doing harm to people unjustly, and that would be a bona fide white supremacist. In other words, that person is no longer just suspected of being a white supremacist by the person who is going to kill that white supremacist. You have to have confirmation in your own mind, at least, that that is exactly who that particular person, just one person I'm talking about, just one person, that particular person is indeed a white supremacist, and that person is inflicting harm on you as an individual, and that person shouldn't exist. And so therefore, if you are going to inflict harm on that person who you have declared should not exist, to the extent that that person doesn't exist, then the code calls for you to inflict the same type of harm on yourself. That's the law of compensation.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I've said it over and over again. We want to abolish the glorification of killing and violence